Crazy reports are going all around the internet about how Marvel is looking to cast Moon Knight for a Moon Knight Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. This is not a drill. We might actually be getting Moon Knight in the MCU.
It's like the news, but for nerds.
Today's shout out goes to James Edward. Indeed, Mowgli and Greed are the two movies that Andy Serkis has directed. Make sure you stay to the end of this video where we will ask another nerd card question. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday to you. I'm Josh. Welcome back to the den. And guys, I don't do it all the time. I know some people don't like it when I do, but lend me your likes. Lend me your likes so I may defeat the brutal YouTube algorithm. I mean, it's just literally another day in the life of YouTubers, but like, yeah, if you could like this video in particular, that'd be great. Now, quick side note before we get into this Moon Knight story, the House of X #2 just came out today. It is absolutely insane. And if you've been following along with the new Jonathan Hickman X-Men books, there's this scene that was teased as being the most important scene in the history of the X-Men comics. And you actually get context for that scene in today's issue, so make sure you check that out. And I will be doing a video, hopefully later today, about that issue. Okay, let's get into this Moon Knight business. You may have seen some reports or videos or articles talking about this yesterday, but there is a rumor out there that Marvel is indeed looking to cast Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight. And when I saw those reports, I was like, oh man, that's a lot of crap, man. Oh my God, this is coming from the usual clickbaiters. Oh man, this can't be real. Man, this is kind of sad because I really like Moon Knight. But then as I looked into it a little bit more, it does appear that this is actually coming from good sources. The leaker that is talking about this is the same guy that said that we would be getting the Mandarin and Taskmaster as villains in Phase 4. In fact, this leaker actually told us that Taskmaster was going to be attached to the Black Widow movie, and this was like way before we knew any of that. As we often say here on the channel, I know there's a lot of like smoke and rumors, and I know Marvel's at this place where, you know, we're getting like a new story like every day. Thank God for us YouTubers, you know what I mean? But I know it gets really crazy out there, but we try to be a voice here at the den that sifts through all this stuff. And yeah, we might talk about things that are unlikely or really rumor based, but we at least really try to let you guys know, like, hey, this right here is a rumor, or this right here is a rumor, but it's connected to people that we believe. So yeah, like that's just the deal, man. It's just what we do.
When you are a man, sometimes you wear stretchy pants in your room. It's for fun.
Now let's get into this leak and report. Now the first part of this I find really interesting because they're talking about how this will actually be for a Moon Knight movie. And what's crazy about this is we've speculated before, we've talked about, you know, should Moon Knight be a show? Should Moon Knight be a movie? Should Moon Knight just be a character that comes into a different movie? But apparently, according to these leaks, Moon Knight is actually going to be their own Marvel movie. And when I heard this, I was like, okay, to me, my read on this is that this is the weakest part of the report. Like, who knows exactly if they're going to do a movie or not. I mean, it just seems pretty crazy. Like, I'm a huge Moon Knight guy. Like, I love Moon Knight, but really, Marvel? A Moon Knight movie? But then when you think about it, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, to a degree, even the Avengers. These were not incredibly popular comic books. Marvel found a way to make them incredibly popular. You could be doing that with Moon Knight. So, you know, we always have to think about the history of Marvel, what they like to do with their characters. Also, Kevin Feige is a bad mofo. Now, I love this guy. We talk about Kevin Feige all the time. Like, literally, it's ridiculous. Like, truly inspirational, amazing thing, unprecedented, all the other words and hyperbole you want to throw around. This guy's deserving of it. But one of the things that people don't talk a lot about with Kevin Feige is that this dude's like a straight killer. Like, he's behind the scenes slanging. And he says things like, oh, we want DC to succeed. We want other Marvel movies to succeed like Sony and whatnot. But the truth is, his actions speak volumes louder than his words. And this dude is like a straight killer. Like, you'll often see trailers released to steal news from DC. A lot of people think that the Eternals movie is literally a shot across the bow at DC's New Gods movie. The New Gods movie with Ava DuVernay is like a Jack Kirby property. It's a really cool comic book, really cool stuff that's gonna be coming out. But Jack Kirby also created the Eternals, and Marvel at this point is just way better at making movies than DC. So like, I'm pretty sure Feige's plan here is just like, oh, that's a nice little New Gods movie you got on that table. Boom! Oh, what's that? Oh, don't mind that. That's just a big old Eternals movie. Oh my God. Are we gonna get demonetized for that? I need to say that it's just putting his dick on the table. Anyway, Where I went with this was like, wouldn't it be interesting if the Moon Knight movie, and the reason Feige really wants to do a Moon Knight movie is to do a shot across the bow at Batman, because as a lot of comic book fans will point out, like, Moon Knight is Marvel's version of Batman. Like, that's pretty much what he is. So wouldn't it be crazy if Feige's like trying to make a better Batman movie than not only the new Matt Reeves Batman movie, which I'm sure will be really good, but like, you know, just, you know, DC. But yeah, what if Feige thinks he can make the best Batman movie of all time, except that it's at Marvel using the Mark Spector character? Pretty interesting, and makes me think that, yeah, maybe they will do this Moon Knight movie, and maybe it's another sort of like Feige being like, oh yeah, no, we think it's great that DC's making these awesome movies, and it's better for everyone when their movies succeed. And then secretly, like in his meetings when he's like having cocktails and stuff, he's like, I made a better Batman movie than any Batman movie DC's ever made. Suck it! Now, another interesting aspect of this report is that Marvel's very focused on bringing in someone of Jewish heritage for this role. Now, Mark Spector in the comic books is of Jewish heritage. Feige's been on record talking about how representation really matters in Phase 4. It's a big focus of them. We've talked about it before with the, you know, the wokeness of Phase 4 and things like that. And so it makes sense that they're going after someone of Jewish heritage. And a lot of the videos and reports that came out yesterday were talking about how Andrew Garfield, who of course played Spider-Man in the Amazing Spider-Man movies over at Sony, was being eyed in the role to be Mark Spector. But more recent reports have suggested that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is also on the short list of people that Marvel is considering for the Moon Knight role. Both actors are of Jewish descent. And real quick too, I just want to again talk about how underhanded it could be if they went with Garfield, because, you know, we've been talking about Sony and Marvel and the Venom movie. You know, by the way, there was really weird stuff that happened on the show yesterday. We did do a show yesterday. If you haven't seen the Nerdy News Rundown from yesterday, it's all about Andy Serkis, you know, the Sony Marvel deal with Spider-Man, really interesting stuff. Check out the show from yesterday. But yeah, we've been talking about this stuff. Some people believe that Sony will put a Spider-Man into their Venomverse eventually, but it may not be Tom Holland. There were even reports last year that Andrew Garfield was not only going to be the Spider-Man in the Sony movies, that he was going to show up in Venom 1. Well, how underhanded would it be if they know that that conversation is being had between Garfield and Sony, and Feige's like, you know, yeah, you could be the B-level Spider-Man over in the Sony movies, I guess. You know, they really didn't treat you well the first time around, or come over to the MCU. Baby, everything is easy. The fans love everything we do, and you can be Mark Spector Moon Knight, who, just take a look at the internet, man. They love this character. I mean, that's a really good offer. Like, if I'm Andrew Garfield, like, I'm going with Marvel, I'm doing the Moon Knight thing. So possibly yet another example of Kevin Feige playing 4D chess in this crazy world of making comic book movies. Now, as far as my takeaway on either of those actors, I gotta be honest here, I don't like either of them in the role. I do think it's important to have someone of Jewish descent, but really not that important. The character's gonna be Jewish, like, for sure, right? But it doesn't necessarily matter to me that the actor is Jewish. I just want a good actor. Now, a lot of people were talking about Keanu Reeves in this role because the Russo brothers dropped this during San Diego Comic-Con. They were like, I'd love to see Keanu play Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight. And I gotta be honest, I don't really love him in the role either. I really like Charlie Hunnam. I think like someone like Charlie Hunnam would be very good for the role, physically imposing, be good in the mercenary part of the role, because he is a mercenary before he becomes a hero. But I mean, both of those actors have great chops. Marvel's really good at, you know, creating these character roles. So, you know, my faith goes to Marvel, but just my honest opinion here, I'm not really fond of Joseph Gordon-Levitt or Andrew Garfield being the role of Mark Spector. I am curious what you guys think about that, though. By the way, guys, if you want a TLDR on Moon Knight, please check out the video we did a couple of weeks ago now, which is literally like why fans want Moon Knight so badly in the MCU. The video breaks down the character and talks about why fans want him so badly in the MCU. Wow, I mean, it's amazing. The title actually referred to the content. It's not clickbait. But yeah, go check that out. We'll link that below. And now let's go to Speculation Town, my favorite zip code. So as I was looking at this news, I was like, man, it's crazy how much of the mystical side of the Marvel Universe is being explored in Phase 4. You know, you got Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, WandaVision, Blade, which I guess is technically in Phase 5, but, you know, then another Loki show. It just really seems like the occult and mysticism is playing a bigger role as we move forward in, like, the stories of the MCU. I also think teams are gonna make a big splash coming to the MCU. We think that the 10 Rings is gonna play a huge role as a group of villains. We think there's gonna be multiple groups of Avengers, including the new Avengers, including the Young Avengers, and of the Dark Avengers. And for those of you playing the Dark Avengers Den of Nerds drinking game, Dark Avengers, Dark Avengers, Dark Avengers, now you're wasted. And Moon Knight could be in any of and all of the groups that I just mentioned, but there are other groups that are equally as cool, if not cooler, that Moon Knight could be a part of. This includes the Midnight Suns and Marvel Knights. And with characters like the Punisher and Daredevil likely to come back to Marvel in 2 or 3 years from now, which is when Phase 5 would be around, wow, you could really set something up with a group of mercenaries or just throwing Daredevil in there, doing Midnight Suns or Marvel Knights. Holy cow, that could be really, really cool. And Moon Knight's the type of character that could literally kind of shift from side to side. He could be on a group like Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts and then turn on them, maybe go to Marvel Knights, maybe he could join the Avengers. Like, you could really do a lot with the Mark Spector character. So I'm very excited. I really hope that this comes to pass, but let me know, guys. That's the news out there. Massive leaked reports about Marvel Studios looking to cast Mark Spector in the MCU. What do you think about all that? Let me know in the comments section below. It's like another day, another crazy Marvel report. Holy cow, it's wild out here. Now let's check the nerd card before we get out of here. I want to know, what is the name of the Egyptian god that literally resurrects Mark Spector and he gets a lot of his powers from? Answer that question in the comments section below. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.